Hello, my name is Sarah Ruth Meyer. I am here at graduation for Oregon Culinary Institute getting my associate's degree in culinary management. This is my mother Kay and my father Dave. I couldn't get enough. Actually, I ended up doing a lot of baking and pastry out on my externship, which is something that Oregon Culinary Institute does. It's a 2-month going out in the industry and figuring out what you want to do, working with real chefs, working at real restaurants, and they had me do a lot of baking and pastry, so I decided that's something I really wanted to hone in on. So I decided to come back to school to round out that part of my education. My dad was so kind as to bring along this prop to show where I did my externship, which was at Saveur Magazine in New York City. I worked in their test kitchen. It was a blast.
My daughter's going to be alone in New York City. Is she going to be safe? It was actually what I first thought. And then when we started, once she got there, actually she's not 16 anymore, so she can actually take care of herself. And then just the pictures she sent back, the little bits of news. She won't brag, to other people, but she will tell us, the compliments and kudos she got and the people she got to meet. So that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I was just thrilled. I thought it was an amazing opportunity. I wasn't too worried about the New York City part of it. I thought she could handle it. But to me, it was the opportunity to work with a lot of different kinds of products and recipes and different thinking than what's going on in Portland, Oregon. Just have a broadened exposure. So that was great.
If I'm being completely honest with these guys, I think they were a little bit skeptical of the whole culinary thing. My mom actually has a background. My mom was actually a food writer in the 80s and 90s for Food Day magazine. And I think she was exposed to a lot of maybe the grittiness of the 80s and 90s culinary scene and was maybe, I don't know, were you a little apprehensive about me going into culinary?
No, I thought if you were really going to go into food, you should have that background. I wasn't sure if that's exactly what you wanted, but it became very apparent once you started putting in ridiculous hours and completely throwing yourself into it. It became obvious that it was the right thing, and it was going to give you the training to do whatever it is that is going to come next, or the many things that will come next.
It wasn't like she just went from undergrad school straight to this. There was other things in between, including a stint as cheese queen.
Yeah, I worked for a little while as a cheese purchaser for a co-op in New Mexico, and it was, food kind of became this in-between thing while I was working on theater gigs, and then I found that I really enjoyed it more and more, and then it was just a matter at that point, after years of really enjoying it, figuring out where I wanted to get my degree. And Oregon Culinary seemed to make the most sense.
And other schools in Portland, I had worked with people from various schools in the past, so I
think before you were even in there, I'd eaten at least once at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say?
What was the I?
Oh, she used to be the president of the Portland Culinary Alliance.
Yeah.
So she was pretty well connected at the time.
Back in the day. But it had the reputation as the most serious school at the time that Sarah was applying.
To see how her palate has broadened. It's one of the compliments she got from the people at Saveur was the discernment of her palate.
What are your hopes for her after this?
We were talking about it on the way down, thinking probably there's a stint in a restaurant just for maybe the experience and maybe the connections. But I could imagine something like, working with a chef in town on a cookbook. She knows sort of how recipes are structured, how to test recipes. I was just reading, there was just an article in Food Day about somebody from Les Pigeons, I forget his name, who was having trouble with his cookbook because he didn't write down the recipes at the beginning. So, working with somebody to take their dishes, turn them into recipes, get them tested for a cookbook, that seems like a fun thing. And good job, kid.
Oh.
Yeah, I think there will be many different aspects to her career that are incorporating these different things. And who knows where it will go.
Aww.
Yeah.